No. Hello again, Longhorn fans. It's Lucky Lowe, and with me today is recent UT Verbal commit Ruben Owens, and with him is El Campo head football coach Chad Worrell. Guys, thanks for the time this morning. Ruben, I'm going to start with you. Congrats on your verbal commitment to Texas, and you pulled the trigger early on this. Tell us about how all that went down for you.
So, Coach Drayton been recruiting me since I'm a freshman. Since I was a freshman, he came to the weight room himself, our weight room, and came in there and stopped everything and offered me. So, and he been in touch with me ever since I was a freshman. And he been showing a lot of love. So, I feel like that would be a good home for me, so I can head to Texas.
There was some talk recently that Coach Drayton might move on from Texas, go someplace else, but he ultimately remained there. How big is that for you?
That's real big because he was a real good running back coach, and he tells me how I see how he uses his running backs that he has and all of that.
So here you are committed. You still have 2 years to go at El Campo. You got to expect that other schools are going to continue to come at you. Is that still the case? And do you expect that to be the case?
Yes, sir. I still expect that other schools to come after me still, because I'm still young and I still got 2 more years to go.
Excited?
Yes, sir.
I bet you would be. So, Coach, you're coming over to El Campo from Brock, where you spent a number of years, and you got a lot of hardware in the trophy case there. Tell us about your background. Tell us about the decision to move over.
I've just been in this business for 25 years. Been fortunate enough to do what I love to do, and that's spend time coaching kids and hopefully having a positive impact on them. And El Campo, we had a great run at Brock over 10 years and coached some great kids and some great people there, and we'll continue to be. But just at this point in my life and my coaching career, the opportunity to come to El Campo and possibly achieve something that they haven't been able to do here, which is win a state championship, was a challenge that really excited me about this opportunity.
I remember years ago when Mack Brown took over at Texas, he had to work a little bit to keep Ricky Williams there before he moved on to the pros. Here you come on board and you got this young man sitting next to you who's kind of a Ricky Williams in his own right there at El Campo. So you got to be happy about that.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, I knew about Ruben and watched a lot of film on him and the rest of his teammates before taking this job, and he's just such a talented kid. But I think one thing with being here for a month and getting to know Ruben, that Longhorn fans will want to know is that he has a lot more to offer than just his athleticism on the field. He's a great young man. He's one of our leaders, one of our hardest workers, and makes great in the classroom and just all around just complete package.
Brock has been run heavy for so many years. What are your plans for the program there and for Ruben?
Well, we're going to continue to rely on running the football, mixing in the passing game and play action, be able to stretch the field vertically whenever we need to, whenever people start stacking the line of scrimmage, and just continue to do what they've been doing here and being physical up front, and having Ruben here along with some other guys coming back is just there's a great opportunity here for them to be successful.
And Ruben, how do you hope to progress here in these next 2 years before you move on to college?
I want to win state championship for El Campo High School in these next 2 years.
So we got you at about 5'10" and 190 pounds. Is that about accurate? And if so, do you plan to pack on more weight, more muscle to that frame as you move ahead?
Yes, sir. I plan on packing more weight and more muscle to my frame.
When we measured last week, he's 5'11" and a half. So he's 5'11" and a half. We just measured him last week and all of our kids, and he came in at 185, and that's coming out of basketball season where there's a lot of running. So he'll definitely be able to add some muscle back on his frame before August rolls around.
So how do you treat the off season, Ruben? What's your work regimen during the off season?
For the school, we lived and we do a lot of track workout, a lot of running, and like on the weekends I play a lot of 7-on-7. And then I do like my own workouts. I got a trainer and all that. So yes, sir. That's what I do.
What do you consider your strengths as a football player?
Good agility on the field. I know how to bring the team together, and like I encourage the people that like say that have a down play. I'll pick them up and like tell them you got it and you still can do it.
So you want to take on a leadership role as well as your physical characteristics and abilities.
Yes, sir.
Coach, how much are you depending on that from him?
Heavy, very heavy. You know, Ruben's not one to brag, as you can tell, but I mean, his vision, he's got as good a vision as I've seen in a running back. I've coached a lot of great running backs over the years and watched a lot. He's got as good a vision as anyone I've seen, watching film. It's funny because not being here, just being new here and watching film a lot on these guys, as I talk to the college coaches, we all have the same evaluation of him. He has the speed, he has the size, he has the explosiveness that you want in a running back, but the vision is something you can't coach, and he's got great vision on the field.
Yeah, Ruben, talk more about that. How do you feel about your abilities on the field as Coach was talking about your vision? In watching film of you, I noticed you got great balance, your ability to cut on a dime. Talk about those things.
In the summertime, like in off season, I work on that a lot. I work on like my balance, cutting, my footwork, and all that. In the vision, it just comes like you can't really work on that. So when I work on that all summer, then I just put it on the field, and then it shows.
Yeah, you seem to find open space real easy. And when you do, your top end speed looks top notch. You feel that once you're in the open, anybody can catch you?
Oh, no, sir.
Once you're out there, you're gone, huh? All right. Coach, how much do you know about Ruben? You've had just, like you said, a couple months to get to know him.
Yeah, not even that. Just watching a lot of film on him. I've watched every snap that he's taken his sophomore year, from scrimmages to practices to games. And then he was in basketball whenever I got here and got on the job. And then he's been here with us for 2 weeks. And then we had the snowstorm. So that hit Texas. And so that set us back. But just being around him the times I have, and listen to the teachers, listen to the administration, the principals, and the coaches that's been here and coaching him. It's a unanimous opinion on what kind of young man this is, and that's just an outstanding, well-rounded young man.
Would you consider him already an elite back, or is he still taking steps toward getting there?
No, I think you have to consider him elite back with the talent he has. I think that as a sophomore, he and I have both visited. There's room to improve. And we're going to continue to strive to work on improving as he goes through his junior and senior year, and hopefully, have him even better prepared just from a maturity standpoint. There's a big difference between being a sophomore and being a senior, so that when he goes into the University of Texas, he's ready to contribute right away.
So, Ruben, you picked Texas over some other big name programs, Texas A&M among them. I'm going to read this to get it right. Oklahoma, LSU, Georgia, a bunch of those schools. What stood out to you about Texas, and what stood out about Coach Sark for you?
Because Coach Sark knows how to use a running back. The running back he coached last year, Najee Harris, he had him for 2 years, and he had 52 touchdowns in 2 years. So he shows how to, he know how to use a running back, like throwing the ball to him in our backfield, put him in wide out, and giving him the ball. So I know that he'll be able to use me like that too.
At Alabama, it's imperative for the running back to be able to block, not just carry the ball when he's handed the rock. So are you prepared to take on those challenges at the higher level?
Yes, sir.
How about that, Coach? Is he going to be stout enough to handle the college carries that he's going to get along with the blocking assignments?
Without a doubt. Watching him on film from last year, he as a freshman and sophomore, I know he was relied upon to be a blocker. As well as carrying the football and also receiving, catching the football is important out of the backfield with their offense. And, that's something that we're going to continue to be a huge role for him as we go forward with our offense. Will be, not only carrying the football, being able to block, be able to catch the football, whether we line him up at wide out to get him the ball in space or throw the ball to him out of the backfield.
All right. So I'm looking at my notes here. I hope you don't mind, but I'm seeing, Ruben, that you've already put together 2,300 yards in your time there at El Campo, 30 touchdowns, and this is all while splitting carries with other backs there. Can you be more productive? How much more productive can you be?
I can be a lot more productive, but it's fine having other running backs to be there with you, because once you get carried, once you get tired, they can get the ball once, and we just help each other out. We coach each other, so it's good to have another back with you.
Coach, on the film that you've seen of Ruben, how about his pass catching ability?
Very talented. Not only the film from the games, but his film from his 7-on-7 tournaments that he's been going to. He catches the ball well. and like I said, has that skill that's just an added, added skill for being a running back. It's an added positive to be able to be that weapon out of the backfield. He does a good job with that.
I've been talking to all the coaches about Coach Sark taking over at Texas. How do you think he fits in there, Coach? And are high school coaches around the state going to be receptive to him?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be a great fit there, and they've done a good job already with his staff, filling out his staff. Of getting some high school coaches in on the staff there with Coach Gilbert, and they're going to continue to do that and have those building relationships. When an out-of-state coach comes in to Texas, it's imperative for them to build those relationships with the high school coaches. And he's already doing that. He's already reaching out and doing that. So I think it's going to be a great fit, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
And Ruben, I know the relationships are big to you too. And Brandon Harris was thinking about taking a job with the Rams, but just yesterday it was announced that he's decided to stay at Texas. How important is that to you, and why?
That's really important. Because B Harris, he stayed in touch. He's been in touch with me too for a long time. He's real cool with my dad. Him and my dad are real close. So I'm glad that he stayed. When I heard he was might take the NFL job, I was like, dang, because he been recruiting me for a long time. But when I knew he told me he was gonna stay on the phone. So yeah.
Texas has been sort of treading water for the past 8 years or so, but now there's a lot of excitement beginning to build around the program again. How exciting is it for you to join a program that seems to be, at least from the recruiting front under Coach Sark, starting to build momentum and on the rise again?
It feels good. We have, with all the recruits coming, we have a chance to go in the national championship for Texas. That haven't really been done in a long time. So yeah.
Are you keeping tabs on who's considering Texas and some of the recruits that have already signed, or at least given their verbal pledges?
Yes, sir.
Coach, how big is it to a program like the one that Sark is taking over to build that early momentum and hit the bricks running like he has?
That's everything. I mean, it's hard to get it going, if you stall out from the beginning. And so the momentum that they've created, in my opinion, from the recruiting standpoint, is invaluable for building that program and getting off to a fast start.
Ruben, you're currently listed as a 4-star from what I understand. What about that 5th star? When are we going to see that come around?
I should be getting it when they come out with the new rankings and the new the updates. I should be getting it before my junior year.
How important is that to you?
To me, it really doesn't matter. You can be a no-star and still be a dog on the field. So yeah.
So as time goes on, you get into your junior and senior years, you're going to be trying to recruit for Texas, and will you be taking on a role in that department?
Yes, sir. I'll try to get more recruits to go to Texas, because I'm the first 2023 commit to Texas.
So, Coach, Ruben's got 2 years left. How do you work with him in these 2 years? How do you move him forward, and at the same time try to protect him and keep him healthy?
It's just a matter of getting his training in, which he's a hard worker, as he told you. The things he's doing on the weekends, things he's doing away from school. Those are the things that you do to keep him healthy. And then we've got things that we're going to continue to work on and get better. Like I said, no one's at their peak even as a senior in high school. So obviously as a sophomore, there's things going forward to work on and get better at, and we'll identify those and work on those as we go through his high school career.
So, Ruben, you committed a couple of years early. There's still a lot of time between now and the time that you step on campus at Texas. How solid is your commit to the Horns?
It's real solid.
So if other programs keep coming at you, what you're telling them is that the door is not open?
Well, yes, sir. Right, as of right now.
It's kind of a hard thing for young people to do, isn't it, Coach? When you commit this early, the pressure of other coaches, it's kind of a tough thing to handle for them, isn't it?
It's just part of the process. And, it's one of the things we were talking about before we actually had the Zoom meeting is that's part of the maturation process for these young guys who get the offers and commit. But at the same time, it'll help, slow down the commitment. It'll help slow down some of the pressure on him, take the pressure off him, and let him be a kid. And I think that's important, being able to enjoy your high school years and know where you're going to go and have that peace of mind that you've already made that commitment.
So Ruben, to the extent that you can, are you staying in touch with your coaches at Texas? And who do you talk to most over there?
I talked to Coach Drayden. I talked to Coach Sark, and I talked to Coach B Harris a lot. Those coaches I mainly stay in touch with, really.
So, Coach, can Ruben be a Pied Piper for Texas? Is he the kind of recruit that other recruits would want to follow?
I believe so. I mean, I think he has that personality, and I think he has that team mentality first over the individual, and that's who people want to play with. I mean, people want to play with people who want to surround themselves with great people and win championships, and Ruben's definitely that type of young man.
So, Ruben, what I'd like for you to do is look into the camera here and deliver a message to Longhorn football fans. They're excited about you. You got to know that. So give them a message.
Here come the Black Unicorn.
The Black Unicorn is on the way, right?
Yes, sir.
Coach, any final thoughts?
No, just super happy for Ruben, super happy for Coach Sark and the University of Texas and all the fans and alumni, and excited for his next 2 years in high school and follow him through his college career.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, thank you both. Ruben, best of luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having us.